everybody, and welcome back to the Blu-ray Hunter. I'm the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and we have a fun show for you guys. We're going to be talking about the 1980, what was it, 85? 87 film La Bamba. This is a Criterion film, so usually I might do that for like Criterion Watch, but honestly, my biggest problem with Criterion Watch is that we have too much, like, and we can only do one each month, right? So Paul will do one, and then I will do one, and so if you do one, like do 10 episodes, it's only five each or whatever. Sometimes we might do 12, but I think this year is 12 months, but so it's 6 and 6, but still, six isn't a lot, considering I have so many to choose from. And so we probably won't do La Bamba for another couple seasons if we do it on Criterion Watch. So my idea was, let me talk about it now on Blu-ray Hunter. Might as well. It's kind of fresh in my head. Watched it last night. Was not expecting to love it so much, honestly. Uh, eh, because like I used to see it on cable all the time, and I'd be like, why is a movie that I would see on cable all the time a Criterion film like this? Like it feels like this is too mainstream for them and stuff. And after watching it, nope, not at all. Now, Columbia Pictures did make it and whatever, but it was in New Visions or whatever. But it's because like back then Columbia Pictures did, movies that weren't so mainstream. They weren't the Spider-Man group that they are now and stuff, Karate Kid movies and stuff like that. They did Karate Kid movies, but that wasn't all they did. They did put out movies like this, which was an incredible piece of history. First of all, I was not all I knew was Richie Valens died in a plane crash. That was all I knew. All I knew was he died in a plane crash. He with I and I don't I remember Buddy Holly. I don't remember the Big Bopper being with him. So um I it was okay. So it was already what, an hour, 108 minutes. So it wasn't necessarily 2 hours long. This is the this is when I sort of wish a movie had been longer. Usually I don't. Usually I want the movie to be an hour and 90 or and yeah, yeah, it's 90 minutes. I just wanted to be 90 minutes, or whatever. I wanted to be quick, you get everything that you need out of there and then you move on. This movie had such great history, great characters, great situations. You don't even get to him becoming a singer thing, stuff till about 20 to 30 minutes into the movie. Most of the time it's just background on who he was and how he as a 17-year-old, lived and everything. Uh there was also a really big I wasn't aware of his brother, Bob. I didn't know anything about his family. I didn't know anything about Richie Valens at all. All I knew was he died in the plane crash and that he wrote hit songs in that time period. And I didn't even know what songs he wrote. So when I listened to like O'Donna, I was like, oh yeah, MXPX covered that, or whatever, right? Like I was familiar with it, but I didn't know he did it. I just thought it was, whatever. The one I did know, obviously, is the title of the song, La Bamba. Like I knew he did that. That was all I knew. So I knew he was a big singer, did La Bamba, and that was it. But it's so funny because I like the Weird Al Yankovic Lasagna song. I don't know if you guys ever heard that one or not, but that one's pretty funny. But yeah, La Bamba is incredible. I really enjoyed it all. It's a great this is a great Blu-ray, by the way, from Criterion. I'm kind of mad that they didn't go 4K on this. I don't know why. Um, it always makes me wonder if they like didn't think like maybe people would buy the 4K, but I would always buy the 4K because it usually comes with the Blu-ray. So like why wouldn't I buy the 4K one instead? but they went with just a Blu-ray, so I had to buy the Blu-ray, which kind of sucks because I wonder if somebody else will put it out, like Kino, or somebody has the 4K rights and will put it out on 4K. I would like to get the 4K at some point for it if it does go there. It is a movie that I will eventually put on, like I said, on Criterion Watch, or I may do it for like either Hollywood's Forgotten Hits or one of those shows because I think it did pretty well in the box office. Let me look that up. Now I'm talking on my ass. I'm saying I think it was, but I'm not sure. Because that was another thing. I thought it was a big hit, so like why would they this doesn't seem like the kind of movie that they would normally put out. I mean, for a $6.5 million budget, it made 54 million. I would say that's a hit. You know, if you triple, quadruple, or whatever your budget, I think that's a hit. So I don't know. I mean, it put Lou Diamond Phillips on the map. And there's a great interview with the director who talks about how he got started, and then it goes into how he got La Bamba and how he had to go talk to. And the best part is, the one question I had was like, I wonder what the uh lead the brother who was still alive when this movie got made thought of his portrayal in the movie. And then I found out from the director that he had actually got all the information about Bob from Bob himself. And Bob himself actually said, put all that out like there. You know, don't hide anything. I want it all there. So I think that's wonderful. It's really nice when people who are real life people are very happy with the way that you portray them because some of the stuff is private and harsh and everything, but he said he wanted to do it for Richie. I thought that was wonderful. The whole movie, I don't really want to get into like, all the stuff with the movie. I don't want to like review like that. I just want to say that I just really did enjoy it from start to finish. I enjoyed all the characters. I enjoyed the journey that we went on with watching this movie. I thought that was incredible. Um, just a really fun movie. I gave it 5 stars that, the second I finished watching it because there's just so much I got out of it. There was a lot of heart. There was a lot of love. You could tell that the people that made this movie really cared about Richie and his family and wanted good things, and wanted to just pass along a great message. And if you haven't seen it, that's another thing. I don't want to spoil it. I mean, sure, when I was watching it, I knew the ending. I knew at the end the plane crash was going to happen, but there was a few surprises. There's a few scenes that really, really shocked me, and made me cry. Like there was 2 scenes in the movie that made me cry. A movie hasn't touched me like that in forever, or whatever. Like new movies don't touch me like that, like this. I don't know what it is, but they just did something remarkable with this film that I wish that the director, what was his name? Luis Valdez, I wish he had done more movies and whatnot. I really liked him. So let me tell you real quick what's on this disc. You get a new 4K digital restoration. So they have a 4K digital restoration. Why not do 4K? Like, what is wrong with Criterion sometimes? I don't know. Audio commentaries featuring Luis Valdez, actors Lou Diamond Phillips and Issei Morales, and producers Stuart Benjamin, Taylor Hackford, and Daniel Valdez. A new interview with Luis Valdez, that's the one I saw. Conversation between Valdez and filmmaker Robert Rodriguez from El Rey's Network's The Director's Chair. It's actually something I was wondering about because I think, if I'm correct, Robert Rodriguez had a band, one of his first companies was called Los Lobos, and Los Lobos was the band that played this song. So I wonder like how much of an influence this movie had on Robert Rodriguez growing up. This was a very good Hispanic film, and whatnot, and really did do a fantastic job kind of putting that together. Um so let's see. Making a program featuring cast and crew, audition footage, trailer. Yeah, they had audition footage. I know I showed clips of it on the interview with Louise, and I think it was Lou Diamond Phillips at least. Maybe it was more people, but I mean that was the thing. He said that once he saw Lou Diamond Phillips, he knew that was him because he saw him perform and he said that's what I'm looking for. And Lou Diamond Phillips does an incredible job. His voice is not the voice of the singer and stuff. I was just very, happy with this movie. I just thought that everything in this movie was well done. There was lots of like, sort of hints of what was to come and everything. And you kind of look at life and you don't realize how short it can be. I mean, he was only 17 years old. They weren't expecting that to happen, you know. And my buddy Paul, who's on Indie Film Cafe, he hates flying, so he would probably not want to know about this movie. He's probably seen it. It's one of those movies that, you know, um, I think it's an incredible piece of art, and I can see why after watching it why Criterion picked it. But once again, I didn't think of it like that when I first heard about it or knew about it. I just never thought, oh, this would make a great Criterion film. No, there's a lot of other films too that haven't made a Criterion. So I just thought this was really well done. And I did a top 16 review and whatnot, and all three of the movies were the number one, three movies, one, two, and three. Those are all Criterion films that I picked this month, because they're all incredible. Just this movie is so good. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Try not to spoil it. Uh, but I mean, of course, he dies in a plane crash. Like that's sorry, spoiler, but that's kind of what I was already waiting for, which sounds bad, but I was like, oh shit, I know at the end, we're gonna get the plane crash. There can't be really much else after that. It was a little after that, but like, it sets everything up and it shows how great of a person Richie was and how wonderful he was, how much he cared about his family. And I think that was like one of the most important messages in the movie is, that he really cared about his family. He really wanted good things to happen. And wonderful. Just keep it up, man. Just keep it up. We need more movies like this. I know we just got the Bob Dylan story. I don't know if it had the heart that this movie did or not. I didn't watch it, but I do want to see it, and I'm probably gonna buy it on 4K or Blu-ray or whatever format I can get it on. But I love a really good musical biopic, and this is top tier on it. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, let me know what you think. If you didn't like it, that's okay. I'm not saying that I'm right, that you have to like the movies that I like or whatever. I don't care. Like it or not, it is what it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.